It was one of those quiet afternoons in a small diner in a small town where everyone knew everyone by name. But this peaceful moment was about to break. The moment she walked in, the atmosphere changed. The woman in the expensive black coat with diamond earrings that reflected the light and a look that was colder than winter itself. She didn't need to say a word. Her presence alone made the waitresses nervous. The cooks peeked through the kitchen door, and the manager straightened his tie. Everyone knew who she was, Veronica Steele, the billionaire investor who could buy or ruin a company with a single phone call. And she was not known for her kindness. She was known for making people cry. Hello everyone, welcome back to your channel, where we share real and inspiring stories that remind us of the power of kindness and humanity. If you like stories like this, subscribe to our channel, like, and comment below. Your support helps us bring more heartwarming stories to life. Let's now dive into the incredible story of a single father who stood against his pride and melted the heart of a billionaire with his kindness. Lunchtime had just ended at the Maple and Main Diner, a cozy little place in New York State. Sam Parker, a single father in his mid-30s, was cleaning up after a long shift. He worked double shifts almost every day to make ends meet for himself and his 6-year-old daughter, Emma. Sam wasn't just any waiter. He was someone who remembered every single guest's order, who still smiled even when his back hurt, and who always found time to draw a little smiley face on Emma's napkin before school. When the bell above the door rang that afternoon and Veronica Steele walked in, the chatter in the diner stopped immediately. The other waitresses exchanged worried looks. Everyone had heard the stories about her temper, her impossible standards, and her rude comments about lazy workers. "Not now," whispered one waitress and ducked to the back. Another pretended to be on the phone. The manager looked around helplessly, clutching his clipboard. Then his eyes fell on Sam. "Sam," he said quietly, "can you take her table? Please, no one else will do it." Sam sighed, too. He had heard the stories, but a table was a table, and he needed every tip he could get. He wiped his hands, straightened his apron, and walked over with his usual friendly smile. "Good afternoon, ma'am. Welcome to Maple and Main. What can I get you today?" Veronica didn't look up from her phone. "I've been sitting here for 2 minutes. Is this how you treat paying customers?" Sam stayed calm. "I'm sorry, ma'am. We were a bit busy, but I'll take good care of you." She glanced up briefly and looked him over with her eyes like a machine scanning a barcode. "Just bring me a black coffee, hot, not lukewarm, and make sure it's served in a proper cup, not one of those chipped cups I saw at the next table." "Yes, ma'am," Sam replied and walked to the counter. The other staff peeked around the corner and whispered. "She's even worse in person," said one. "Poor Sam," murmured another. But Sam wasn't bothered by it. He had dealt with rude customers before. What mattered was how he handled it. When he brought the coffee, Veronica was still on the phone, barking orders at someone on the other end of the line. "I don't care what it costs," she snapped. "Just get it done. If you can't deliver by tomorrow, fire them." Sam carefully placed the cup in front of her. "Here you go, ma'am. Be careful. It's hot." She barely nodded. Over the next few minutes, Sam took care of his other tables, refilled drinks, cleared plates, and joked with a group of old regulars. When he returned to Veronica's table, she was frowning. "This coffee tastes burnt," she said sharply. "Do you people even know how to make coffee here?" "I'm sorry you don't like it," Sam said quietly. "Would you like me to make you a new one?" "Of course," she hissed. "And this time, make sure the cup is clean." Sam nodded again, without a hint of annoyance. He made a fresh cup, checked the temperature, and brought it back. As he set it down, he noticed something. Her hands were shaking slightly. Under her designer coat and perfect hair, there was something else in her eyes. Exhaustion. "Is everything okay, ma'am?" he asked quietly. She blinked, surprised by his tone. No fear, no sarcasm, just genuine concern. "Excuse me, you look tired." "Long day," For a moment, she stared at him as if no one had ever asked her that. Then she mocked. "You wouldn't understand." "Maybe not," he said gently. "But I know what long days feel like." He turned to leave her alone, but she stopped him. "Wait," she said suddenly. "What's your name?" "Sam." "You have a daughter, don't you?" she asked him when she noticed the little crayon drawing tucked in his apron pocket. A stick figure of a man and a little girl holding hands. Sam smiled. "Yes, Emma, she's 6, my little sunshine." Veronica didn't respond. She just looked down at her cup and murmured, "Must be nice." Over the next half hour, something changed. Veronica no longer barked orders. She politely asked for a refill. Once she even quietly thanked him. When Sam brought her the check, she stared at it for a long moment. Finally, she asked, "Don't you ever get tired of it, the waitering?" He smiled sometimes. "But it's honest work, and I can be there for Emma. That's what matters most." Veronica sighed softly. "You're lucky to have someone to do that for." Sam didn't know what to say, so he just nodded and let the silence speak. When she stood up to leave, she pushed a thick envelope under the check holder and left without another word. When Sam opened it, he froze. Inside was $5,000 in cash, and a handwritten note for your daughter. "You reminded me that money can't buy peace, but kindness can bring it back. V. Steele." The diner went silent. Even the manager couldn't believe it. The next day, Veronica came back. This time she wore no diamonds. She wore jeans and a sweater. Her hair was tied back. Her look was softer. She sat at Sam's table again and ordered pancakes. When Sam came to her, she smiled warmly at him. "Good morning, Sam, and please just call me Veronica." Over breakfast, she opened up. Her husband had died 3 years ago. She had no children, no family nearby. She had built an empire but lost her joy in the process. "People see the billionaire," she said, "but not the lonely woman behind it." Sam listened without judging. Sometimes silence was the kindest answer. From that day on, Veronica became a regular at the diner. She sat by the window, drank coffee, and sometimes brought small gifts for Emma, a children's book, a toy, a flower hair clip, and word got around. The woman everyone once feared was now known as Miss Veronica, the diner's most generous customer. She even invested in the diner, helped with expansion, and hired more local workers. However, on the condition that Sam could remain as head waiter. When the manager asked her the reason, she smiled, "Because he treated me like a human being when everyone else saw a problem in me." Weeks turned into months, and Veronica's visits became the highlight of the mornings at the diner. Sam never treated her differently, not as a billionaire, not as a benefactor, but simply as a friend. One afternoon, Veronica looked around the busy diner, full of laughter, warmth, and the smell of fresh coffee, and said, "Funny, isn't it? I used to think kindness was a weakness, but it's the only thing that makes me feel human again." Sam smiled. "Kindness doesn't cost much," he said, "but it changes everything." And that's exactly what it did. If this story touched your heart, take a moment today to show kindness to a stranger, a coworker, or someone you think doesn't deserve it. You never know how much they might need it. Don't forget to subscribe to your channel, click like, and share this story to spread the message of kindness around the world. Because sometimes the smallest gesture of kindness can reach places that money never could.